Are you ready? Are you ready to see the President of the United States get scolded by the only journalist that's done their job so far in these debates? Well, Chris Wallace did okay. This is really good. This is gonna be a good thing, okay? We're gonna watch Donald Trump in the NBC News Town Hall. The NBC News Town Hall that got fewer views than Joe Biden's Town Hall at the same exact time. So I'm just saying, like, more people watched Joe Biden than watched Donald Trump during this Town Hall. So you probably haven't actually seen this because not a lot of people watched it because more people watched Joe Biden than watched Donald Trump. And because fewer people watch Donald Trump, this is why we're picking this one. So we'll watch this together. But we're only going to count as one view still, which is good. So say it again slowly. I don't know what you mean, Slow Dog. Would you like me to repeat that Joe Biden had a higher viewership than Donald Trump during his town hall? I don't know why I'd repeat that multiple times. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Slow Dog, for that. Let's check this out. Donald Trump, NBC News Town Hall.
This is an NBC News special presentation of today.
My voice doesn't sound anything like that. Savannah Guthrie.
Tonight, Donald Trump in the arena. His first primetime network appearance since falling ill with coronavirus.
I'm feeling great. I don't know about you. How's everyone feeling?
With tonight's debate canceled, the president faces our questions live and hears from voters about their concerns.
Okay.
In the battleground state of Florida.
It's great to be back.
How's that sound for you? Want me to turn it up?
I'll
turn it up.
Return to the campaign trail.
With just 19 days to go, the president makes his case.
My goal is to fight for you and fight for your family.
From NBC News, Decision 2020, President Trump Town Hall. Live from the Perez Art Museum in Miami, here's Savannah Guthrie.
That's up all the
Hi,
way.
everybody, and good evening. It's good to have you with us, and welcome to Miami and our town hall with President Donald Trump. And we want to say right off the top, this is not how things were supposed to go tonight. This was supposed to be a town hall debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. But after the president contracted COVID, the debate commission announced it would have to be a virtual debate because of health concerns. The president then said he would not participate in a virtual debate. At that point,
wow.
Joe Biden scheduled a town hall tonight in Pennsylvania on another network, and now the president is doing the same, his own town hall, with the same venue, format, and time as NBC's town hall with Joe Biden last week. So the two candidates go head-to-head tonight, though not face-to-face, each in a key battleground state. And tonight, the president will be taking questions from voters here in Miami, who we should mention are socially distanced and they're wearing masks. And I should say, this audience looks a bit like America. It's divided. Some here voted for the president in 2016 and plan to again. Some support Joe Biden, and some say they are truly undecided. We're going to get a mix of questions on a range.
How can you be undecided? What kind of... I want to meet 5 people that are undecided voters on October 16th. I need to know what that person is like. Do you think they wake up and, like, do they just have anxiety about making decisions?
Her ramble was
Like, thank you, Fairy Princess, for following. Are they like people that, like, when you ask chocolate or vanilla, they fucking sweat over it for 10 minutes? They're like, I really like vanilla, but vanilla beans are hard to get. It's not necessarily ethical. I do like chocolate. Oh, but chocolate is unethically sourced too. Like, what are these people? What are they? How do they exist? How do you not know? It's not a toss-up. It's not like there's a Venn diagram and, like, here's Donald Trump, and also pretty much all that's the same as Joe Biden, except he's got like a little crescent on the outside, and there's just like one issue that separates them. No. They have one thing that connects them. Jeffrey Epstein. That's the thing that connects them. It's like right in the middle. I don't know. I don't watch The Good Place. I've been told too many times. I don't know. I don't know how you just don't have make a call here, man.
Of topics, and we're going to get to those questions in a moment. But first, with all that ado, welcome, Mr. President, and thank you for being here.
That was very well stated, I have to say. Good job.
Thank you.
The audio is funky. This is NBC. Bro, get yourself a blue Yeti mic. This isn't even that good. This isn't even that rich. I would like an XLR mic soon. Why can't I say XLR? I don't know.
You're here. We're glad you're well. We send our best to the First Lady and to Barron.
Thank you.
Do you have any remaining symptoms from COVID?
Nothing whatsoever. I'm great. I feel good. Was in North Carolina today and did a big rally with tremendous turnout, and just feel really good. Florida, Pennsylvania.
Watch on CNBC. What? This is CNBC. This is CNBC. What is this shit? What is this shit?
We went over to Walter Reed, where you have tremendous professionals. They gave me Regeneron and Remdesivir both, and I just...
Snowball sucks, dude. The Yeti Snowball? The Yeti Snowball is worse than this. How dare you?
All I know is I felt good the following day. I felt really good.
Did the doctors ever tell you that they saw pneumonia on your lung scans?
No, but they said the lungs are, a little bit different, a little bit perhaps infected. And
infected with?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't do too much asking. I really felt good. I didn't have much of a problem with the lungs. I did have a little bit of a temperature. Obviously, I felt there was something missing. And then I tested positive.
Well, let's talk about testing, because there's a little bit of confusion about this. And I think
Holy shit. I've heard... Okay, so I didn't watch this. We were playing D&D. So I didn't watch this at all. So this is my first time, besides looking at people talk about it on Twitter and other people talking about it. I've avoided everybody. I've avoided Vosh, I've avoided the Surfs, I've avoided Hannah, I've avoided everybody that would talk about this shit, right? So I'm looking at her eyes, and she's like, "This is my fucking chance. I'm gonna fucking roast this fucking guy. Oh my god. Oh, look at that shit. She's into fucking get him. Oh my god." Imagine if you were that person. She is. Look at her. She. Oh my god. She's so prepared for this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at how fucking ready she is. I don't even know who this is. Savannah I've never heard of her name in my life. Savannah Guthrie. I'm ready. Oh, I think I accidentally missed my flag choice. Look at the flag I choose up there. Hell yeah, Deviant Analysis. You did, but that's okay. I appreciate you.
We can clear it up.
Yeah, and there shouldn't be.
Your first positive test was Thursday, October 1st, okay? When was your last negative test? When did you last remember having a negative test?
Well, I test quite a bit, and I can tell you that before the debate, which I thought it was a very good debate, and I felt fantastically. I had no problem.
I felt fantastically.
Did you test the day of the debate?
I don't know. I don't even remember. I test all the time. But I can tell you this. After the debate, I guess a day or so, I think it was Thursday evening, maybe even late Thursday evening, I tested positive. That's when I first found out about it.
Well, back to the debate, because the debate commission's rules, it was the honor system, would be that you would come with a negative test. You say you don't know if you got a test on the day of the debate?
I had no problem. Again, the doctors do it. I don't ask them. I test all the time, and
did you take a test, though, on the day of the debate?
If you ask the doctor, they'll give you a perfect answer.
Yeah.
But they take a test,
How do you...
and I leave, and I go about my business.
Did you take a test on the day of the debate, I guess, is the bottom line?
I probably did, and I took a test the day before and the day before, and I was always in great shape. And I was in great shape toward the debate. And it was only after the debate,
blood will
a period
spill.
of time after the debate, that I said, that's interesting, and they took a test, and it tested positive.
So just to button it up, do you take a test every single day?
No, but I take a lot of tests.
Okay, and you don't know if you took a test the day of the debate?
Possibly I did, possibly I didn't. But the doctor is very accurate information, and it's not only that doctor, it's many doctors. The one thing, if you're president, you have a lot of doctors you're surrounded by. But I was in great shape for the debate. And sometime after the debate, I tested positive.
Let's talk about...
That's when they decided to let's go.
Okay.
Why doesn't he know? What a weird thing to be flaky about. Is that strange to anybody else? I feel like you would know when you took your test before, right? And you'd know when you tested positive. So was he just fucking lying? For what reason? It's such a weird lie. It doesn't even make sense to lie about it. It's not like you already did the thing. You already did the debate. It's not like they can stop you. You did it. Why lie about whether or not you were... He doesn't want to admit he went to it knowing he was sick? I feel like they wouldn't let him if he was sick. Or maybe they would. I don't know. Didn't want to seem weak? I don't fucking know. It's just a weird lie. Weird.
Okay, good. I've hopefully provided some clarity for folks. Let's talk about the event that was held at the White House on the Saturday before you tested positive. Subsequent to that, 13 people connected to that event tested positive. It was an outdoor reception. You've seen the pictures. There was an indoor reception. People were not wearing masks. My question to you is, at this point in the pandemic, knowing what we know, shouldn't you have known better? Shouldn't the White House know better than to hold an event like that?
Well, they do a lot of testing in the White House. They test everybody, including me, but they test everybody. And something happened. But as far as the mask is concerned, I'm good with masks. I'm okay with masks. I tell people wear masks. But
no, you don't. That's a lie. He literally made fun of Joe for wearing a mask last time we were on the national stage. He routinely is anti-mask. What? What? This is funny because not only are all left-leaning people like, fuck you, no, you lied. All right-leaning people are like, what the fuck? Fuck masks. I want freedom. He just made everybody mad. It's like in the top left of the screen, it said everybody will remember that. Nobody liked that.
The day they came out with a statement that 85% of the people that wear masks catch it.
Well,
so, you know,
they
this
didn't
is
say
a
that.
very
I know that
tricky,
study.
well,
That's
that's what I heard and that's what I saw.
Oh,
and
wait, come on, please.
But everybody's
85% of people with masks catch it? What?
tested, and they're tested often. And I also knew that, hey, I'm president. I have to see people. I can't be in a basement. I can't be in a room. I have to be out.
You can see
And
people
I
with a
also
mask,
know-
though, right?
I can, but people with masks are catching it all the time. I mean, if you look at the governor of Virginia, he was known for a mask. If you look at Tom Tillis, a great guy, he always had a mask, and they caught it.
Well, there are pictures of Tom Tillis actually with one of Judge Barrett's kids not wearing a mask. But, you know, Chris Christie, he was part of your debate prep.
Yeah.
He was, I believe, at that event. He came out tonight. He was sick, very sick. He was in the hospital for about a week.
I know
He
that.
came out tonight and said, I was wrong not to wear a mask.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he has to say that. I think it's great. He's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. And
He has to
wrong
say
or
that?
not wrong. You have to understand, as president,
Is he wrong? Wait, you just said that masks are good, and now you're telling... Is Chris Christie right or wrong for saying that you should not wear a mask? What? What?
I can't be locked in a room someplace for the next year and just stay and do nothing. And every time I go into a crowd, I was with the parents of our fallen heroes. These people are the most incredible people. And they came up to me, and they would hug me, and they would touch me. And I'm not going to not let them do it,
Now,
to be
there
honest
was an
with you.
event with the Gold Star
There was
families
exactly
the
right.
day
We had
after the Supreme
a
Court
Gold
event.
Star event with the most incredible people you've ever seen. And I could have chosen not to talk to them or to keep everybody away. And you know what? And I don't think that's probably where it was caught, but maybe it
Well,
was.
I was going to say, you bring it up. You brought it up yourself. I mean, are you trying to suggest that? Do you believe a grieving military family gave you COVID?
Oh, fuck. Do you... Do you think a grieving military family gave you COVID? That's the best question I've ever heard anyone ask Donald Trump in my life.
No, I don't know where it came from,
Okay.
and you don't know where it came from, and the doctors don't know where it came from. But
Holy
as the president,
shit.
I have to be out there. I also know.
Well, there's no one that says you can't be out there, but it's just about wearing masks and having, for example, your
but
rallies.
I know this.
Your rallies
As
don't
an
require
example,
masks.
No, I mean, let's see Kamala. She's got people now that people have it, and I'm not blaming her. I'm not saying, oh, she did a terrible thing. As president, I have to be out there. I can't be in a basement. I can't be locked in a very beautiful room someplace in the White House. And I want to see the Gold Star families, and I want to see everybody. And I also say to people all the time,
Jesus
it's
fucking
risky doing
Christ,
it.
bro.
It is risky doing
But
it.
as
It's risky
president,
seeing people.
you're right. You want to be a leader, but you also are a leader and a setter of an example. And
Yep.
if you're not wearing a mask when your administration is saying best practice right now is wear a mask, no, it's not foolproof.
But many
that
people
will,
are catching it. Many people are getting this disease that was sent to us by China, and it shouldn't
Oh,
have been allowed
boy.
to happen. But many people are getting this, and I mean, nobody's being blamed. Everybody is.
You
working
just
hard
blamed China out loud.
to get this thing out of our country, get it out of the world. Look at what's going on in Europe. Massive spikes. They've done a very good job, but now you take a look today at the UK, you take a look at Spain and France and Italy. There's tremendous spikes.
But our death rate is worse than, well, not Spain, but those
Well,
other
I
countries.
have things right here that will tell you exactly the opposite.
Me too.
So the UK is up 2,500%, because I knew you'd be doing this. I know you very well. The UK is up 2,500%. The EU is up 722%. And the United States is down 21%.
But we have, our deaths per capita is among the highest among
Excess
industrialists.
mortality, we're a winner on the excess mortality. And what we've
We're a winner on excess mortality.
done has been amazing, and we have done an amazing job. And it's rounding the corner, and we have the vaccines coming, and we have the therapies coming. And I'll tell you what,
The
one thing,
therapists?
when I got it, I had a choice: do nothing or use some of the things that we're looking at, like in this case, Regeneron.
Yeah.
And Eli Lilly makes something that's supposed to be incredible. And I think that maybe I wouldn't be doing this discussion with you right now. We have therapies now and cures, maybe. You can use the word cure. But we have therapies that are absolutely incredible.
I want to
Savannah.
pick up on something you just said. You said we're rounding the corner.
I believe we're rounding the corner,
Now,
yes.
10% of the country approximately has had COVID. That means
Wow.
80, 90%, let's do the math, is still vulnerable.
Right. That's
There's
right.
been some talk, including from the White House lately, that perhaps it approves of what's called herd immunity.
Oh my fucking god, bro. Yes. I have never liked a liberal more in my life. Doctor in the chat, Randy says we don't even have the evidence on remdesivir, and it's looking worse and worse. Oof. Just tossing that out there. Flower Girl, thanks so much for the 9 months. We have a baby. I carried it.
That's where you basically just let young people and everybody get sick. You try to protect the old people and those who are sick, and hopefully it gets up to a certain level, and now we're all immune.
Yeah.
So let's just be clear about it. It also means more deaths. Do you support herd immunity as a strategy?
Get him.
Essentially just let
So-
people get sick.
No
The cure
deviant analysis. No.
cannot be worse than
No.
the problem itself. We did the right thing.
No snort
We
links.
were expected to lose 2,200,000 people and maybe more than that. We're at 210,000 people. One person is too much. It should have never happened because of China. It happened
China.
because of China. And you have to get that and understand that. But it shouldn't have happened. But we were expected to lose. If you look at the original charts from original doctors who are respected by everybody, 2,200,000
That 2
people.
million figure, though, is if you
We
literally
saved 2
did
million
nothing.
people.
2 million is literally if you did nothing. I fucking... Why do I like her? Wow, she is doing such a good job. Hurt me, mommy. I think I love her. She's doing such a good job. It's over 250,000 now. 250,000 people are dead because of this fucking guy. He said the thing.
The 2 million figure is if you did absolutely nothing, it would be 2 million.
If
The
we-
question is,
if we
should the deaths be better than 200,000 when,
I don't
relative to the
know.
rest
Let
of the
me
world,
tell
we
you
have
what
a
is
worse
happening.
death rate?
I left North Carolina, which I love. I left Pennsylvania. We won a big case in Michigan because that governor has a lockdown where nobody but her husband can do anything. He can go
218?
voting and do whatever he wants, but nobody else can. The fact is we're winning all these cases because it's unconstitutional what they're doing. And I
What?
think they're doing it for political reasons. But the fact is, the cure. You can't let this continue to go on with the lockdowns.
Well, most
and I
of the
believe
states...
that on
It's the second time he's been grilled. The debate was a good night for him getting grilled as well. But yes, I agree.
November 4th, you're going
It's because he agreed to an hour and he can't bail out.
New York is a mess. They lost almost 40,000 people.
Yeah, he brought up Michigan, right? Yeah. One of the best states in the union as far as COVID. Just tossing that out there. Coming after Michigan after his boycott. I mean, he had a rally right down the road from here in Freeland, Michigan, at a small airstrip over here, a little airport you can go to, and no one wore masks or anything. And then people got it in Michigan. Are you surprised? What? A bunch of his followers got sick in Michigan? Wow. Anyway, again, for the record, top 10 state in the union as far as COVID cases. Dealing with COVID, and also a top 7 economy during COVID because we did it right. We did it the correct way.
They have a lockdown like you've never seen. Now they're open. It's like a ghost town.
Let's get in.
I went on, for the record, with this whole lockdown, this lockdown narrative that the president has around states like Michigan for locking down and stuff like that. So I live here. I've lived here for years. I grew up here. Nothing was different. The very initial thing was different across the country, right? Like businesses were closed early. You had to, but then everybody kind of got used to wearing masks, used to hand sanitizer, used to that shit. Everything pretty much opened up, right? There's still some limitations, like not 24 hours. We spread out a little bit more. I went on vacation, chat, in Michigan. I vacationed to a city in Michigan with beaches and shit. We hung out on the beach. We went shopping. We did all the normal stuff we usually do. Nothing changed. In fact, in the city that we went to, Traverse City, overwhelmingly, because it's a huge tourist town, they have a bunch of Pride stuff everywhere because it was... we went in August, so it was just after the Pride stuff was still up because summertime does Pride, like, June and stuff. July was around, so they do the 4th of July stuff, and they have a cherry festival. There were Biden signs. I mean, there were definitely some Trump signs out there. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not just one no. This is actually, like, rich white people country. A lot of people voted for Trump out there. However, thank you, Gretchen Whitmer signs were all over the place. I love my governor. She did a good job. Signs that said, "We believe in science," were out in people's yards. I'm just tossing that out there, man. So Michigan almost overwhelmingly is doing better because Gretchen Whitmer was addicted. Skooma Addict, thanks so much for the Prime. I appreciate you.
And so that is very important. People are leaving New York by the thousands, and you're going to have a hard time ever building it up again.
Exactly, Kevin.
So that cure, that so-called cure that you talk about, it can't be worse than the problem. The problem is a bad problem.
We've got more questions on COVID, so let's drop it for now. We were supposed to, as mentioned, be watching you on a debate stage right now. We're not doing that, so let's clear up a few things from the last one. You were asked point blank to denounce white supremacy.
Oh, God. Is he going to do a better job this time? I'm not looking at chat. I haven't seen this yet. Okay.
In the moment, you didn't. You asked some follow-up questions. Who specifically? A couple of days later, on a different show, you denounced white supremacy.
No, you
My
always do
question
this.
to you is,
you've done this to me and everybody.
Why does it seem like...
I denounce white supremacy, okay?
You did 2 days later.
I've denounced white supremacy for years, but you always do it. You always start off with the question. You didn't ask Joe Biden whether or not he denounces Antifa.
I like that Donald Trump understands that white supremacists are on his side, and anti-fascists would more likely be on Joe Biden's side, although they're not. Aquaman, thanks for following. Crimson 11, 50 videos. Massachusetts, mostly normal too. Went to Cape Cod for a weekend vacation, and in Provincetown, they had mandatory mask zone signs everywhere. Super liberal area with the best counting from in mass for cases. Masks work, folk. Absolutely. Also, everything you said there reminded me of Vampire Weekend's first album. Literally everything you said there was basically just a Vampire Weekend album. Just tossing that out there.
I watched him on the same basic show with Lester Holt, and he was asking questions like Biden was a child.
He's denounced white supremacy all the time. I mean, he told them to stand by last time, Blue Jinx. And then the Proud Boys got excited that he said that. Do you think that's... Do you think... do you think when the president was asked to denounce white supremacy, and he said, stand by, and then the Proud Boys on Twitter and other white supremacist groups got actually excited about his answer to the question, do you think that shows that he is hostile to white supremacy? Like, is that what you think? I would love for you to say, Blue Jinx, that white supremacists, do you think white supremacists feel like Donald Trump disowns them? Yeah, denouncing in loads of interviews. Blue Jinx, do you feel like white supremacists feel like they are denounced by Donald Trump? You do feel like that. Interesting. So why? This is what I want you to explain to me, Blue Jinx, which is because it's very interesting. X-T, thank you so much for gifting a tier 3 sub to Eternally Perplexed. So Blue Jinx, here's what I want you to explain to me. Okay, why did no one talk? Everybody, shut up. Just me and Blue Jinx. Why did the Proud Boys get excited? Why did the Proud Boys get excited when Donald Trump said that? That's my question. Why were they emboldened by what he said? No, nothing. Pretty interesting. I find it interesting. A little sus, don't you think? Okay. No, nothing. Interesting. Blue Jinx. I'm having trouble seeing your post here. I'm surprised you're not really replying to the question. Isn't that strange? You sent four messages in quick succession. Why do you think the Proud Boys were excited about what Donald Trump said in response to that question? I'll give you a little bit more time here. Maybe you're having trouble. So all I know is I've watched. Okay. So here's the question. All I know is I've watched footage of him saying he doesn't agree with white supremacists, white nationalists, etc. Okay, Blue Jinx. That's fantastic. So you know that you've seen this footage. Okay. So what I'm asking you is, Blue Jinx, why did white supremacist groups get excited and emboldened by what the president said? So answer the question. You're avoiding the question. Why were white supremacist groups emboldened by what he said, my friend? Did they say that? Yes, they did. Yes, of course. What are you talking about?
Good call, baby bird. Good call.
Do I need to like show you everything? I mean, there's whole articles about this. There's whole entire articles about this. Like the Proud Boys celebrate Trump's standby remark. Like what? Proud Boys describe themselves. I mean, they celebrated multiple times on. Like, what? Stop it. Like, what? Like, tweets and tweets and tweets and tweets. A bunch of different tweets of these people, like, actually saying, so, Trump, so Blue Jinx, my friend. Blue Jinx. This is so interesting. Okay. So Donald Trump denounces it, right? You say he denounces white supremacy. So doesn't that mean it doesn't matter if white nationalists support him? So you agree white nationalists support Donald Trump. Why do you support the same people that white nationalists support? And it's literally political, right? So it's like the thing. Why would a white nationalist be interested in voting for Donald Trump, in your opinion? Because you agree that white nationalists are, in fact, more likely to vote for Donald Trump, right? They're certainly not excited to vote for Joe Biden. Why are you comfortable with associating with that same demographic, who are literally excited to vote for Donald Trump? So they're not just like, lesser of two evils. No. White nationalists are very incredibly excited to vote for Donald Trump. So why would you think that is the case? It's interesting. It's interesting that you don't ask these questions of yourself when you support a candidate who is supported by white nationalists. David Duke is a fantastic example of someone who has supported Donald Trump. Grandmaster of the KKK. So what do you don't have to Blue Jinx. You typing slow? I think you should consider not just your response to the question, but why you're responding the way you are to the question. Right? You should ask yourself, okay, so I like Donald Trump. Cool. You can like Donald Trump. And then when I ask, why do you support someone a white nationalist supports? It doesn't make you pause and go, wait, why would white nationalists support Donald Trump? I think you should consider why white nationalists support Donald Trump. Right? And then consider, are you a white nationalist? And if you're not, which I assume you're not, because you said that it was a bad thing that white nationalists would agree with Donald Trump, right? So I'm assuming you're not for white power. I'm assuming you are not a racist person. You could be. Maybe you are. And if you are, well, then there's no reason to talk to you about this. But you seemed to be upset that Donald Trump's he's denounced white supremacy a million times. So obviously you don't want him associated with or advocating for white supremacy. So it's interesting that, again, slow typing or not, that you still consider that a viable and reasonable candidate to vote for, even though white nationalists are excited to vote for him. So keep that in mind, buddy. Keep that in mind. Good job. Good talk.
This is a little bit of a dodge.
Are you listening? I denounce white supremacy.
Okay.
What's your next question?
Do you feel, it feels sometimes you're hesitant to do so, like you wait a beat.
Here we go again. Every time, in fact, my people came, I'm sure they'll ask you the white supremacy question. I denounce white supremacy.
Okay.
And frankly, you want to know something? I denounce Antifa, and I denounce...
Oh, this is when it happens, dude. Every single time. When he goes, denounce white supremacy, he goes, yes, but Antifa. This is why. This right here, a huge problem, right? Donald Trump, not only does he not have any hard stances on stuff like this, because what he wants is he wants people that like white supremacy to vote for him, because he can appeal to those people. Those are a big part of his base. Obviously, white supremacists are going to be more likely to vote for a Republican. Clearly, right? So he needs those people, but also he can't expediently. He can't just say, "I like white supremacists" at the same time. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. What? Oh, I was trying to read. Again, he can't even talk about this without going, but Antifa. Antifa is not the opposite of a white supremacist. Okay? Antifa is a totally different body. They're not black supremacists. They're not the opposite. They're entirely everything. They're not organized. They are a group of leftist people that just disagree. Why is he denouncing white supremacy? He's not. This is the point, Blue Jinx. He says, I denounce white supremacy, but then he'll pivot to Antifa. Stick to the... Look, if you're asked, do you support white supremacy? The answer to the question is not yes, and also I disavow fucking Antifa. No, the answer is not that. He pulled a pivot again because he knows that he wants the support of white supremacists. He wants their support. Why does the president want their support? Why are white supremacists excited to support Donald Trump? Consider the questions. And then look at people like Stephen Miller. Look at people like Steve Bannon. Ask again. Look at people like Amy Coney Barrett. Ask again. Why? Why are the white supremacists like these people? Very strange. Very interesting. It's strange that you would be like, you know what? I want to tie myself to that. Also, notwithstanding, the guy doesn't have any policy opinions. There's literally no policy opinion. What's his healthcare plan? Anybody? Kevin Baker, thanks so much for the 8 months. No, he doesn't have one. There's no healthcare plan. It's just, what about the bad guys? He doesn't even have a plan in regards to COVID. He literally just says, well, China shouldn't have given it to us. What? What's my healthcare plan? What? I don't have one. The platinum plan. Yeah, fuck off.
These people on the left that are burning down our cities that are run by Democrats who don't know what they're doing.
While we're denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all say that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
This is another easy layup question. This is just easy shit, guys. This is easy shit. If you want to seem reasonable to people, it would behoove you not to entertain QAnon conspiracies. Okay? It would behoove you not to do this. He just started out already hedging. He's already hedging. Well. Here's the correct answer to the question. I doubt he supports the KKK. Blue Jinx. David Duke supports the president. Jesus Christ. Why do I have to do everything for you? Why do I have to do everything for you? Everything. Everything all the time. Everything all the time. David Duke. Come on, bro. David Duke, former KKK leader, endorses Trump and Tucker Carlson. Why? Now, why would that happen? Also, when he was asked in 2016 to disavow David Duke, do you know what he said? I do not disavow David Duke. He didn't disavow him. No. He literally... Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Wow. David Duke says, we're going to take our country back. We're going to fulfill the promises of Donald Trump. That's what we believed in. That's why we voted for Donald Trump, because he said he's going to take our country back. And that's what we're going to do. Why, oh why, would Donald Trump appeal to David Duke? Interesting. And why, oh why, would Donald Trump not be upset that David Duke endorsed him? Strange. Tulip, thanks so much for the 5 months. Very interesting. You know who else? You know who else just recently supported Donald Trump like 2 weeks ago? the Bin Laden family. All right. Okay.
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they...
Useless Legs, thanks for the 5 gifted subs to McMish, Loch, Telperion, Chin, and What About Bob?
They are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is a satanic cult run by the deep state.
He can't get the QAnon question right. Sly Fox, thanks for following.
I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are.
What's that have to do with QAnon, you fuck?
And I know how they're burning...
You just wrote the word ineducated, Blue Jinx. Ineducated. And talked about other people that weren't yourself. Ineducated. I want to die.
Down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Republican Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories.
He may be
Why
right.
not just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste a whole show. You start off with white...
Okay, so here's the question then. Why don't we redo it? That's not grammar. That's not what grammar is. Oh God, you're stupid. Just be like, do you believe the Democrats are demon pedophiles? Like, that's easy.
White supremacy, I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it very strongly.
But there's not a satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no idea. I know nothing about that.
You don't know that?
You don't know if there's a satanic pedophile cult in the Democrats? Beautiful. That's beautiful. He's claiming he didn't know what a QAnon was, then said that he believes they fight very hard against pedophilia. How does he know that they don't do that if he doesn't know what they are? Sorry to think he's isn't on the up and up here. Strange. You think he might be lying? Wow, what a dum-dum.
Okay. No, I don't know that. Neither do you know that.
Okay, just this week you retweeted...
Why aren't you asking me about Antifa? Why aren't you asking me about the radical left?
Because you're
Why
volunteering
aren't you asking Joe Biden questions about... Why doesn't he condemn Antifa? Why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because you're here before me.
No, that's so cute. Antifa.
Ooh, that was sexist. I know it didn't sound sexist, but I mean, he doesn't say that to Ben. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, oh, that's real cute. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't sexist. It felt sexist. Maybe I was just being an asshole. Opinions. Now let me talk about those wacky Antifa folks. Exactly. Is Trump the devil? No, the devil doesn't exist. Trump isn't even... No, Trump is the worst president in the history of the United States. And it's not even close. Why aren't you asking me questions I want to answer, Anchor Lady? True! No, not maybe. It's 100%. It's 100% the facts. Look, I might be dressed in corn here, okay? But your boy's got a degree in history, all right? American history is one of my specialties, along with early Western civilization, all right? I taught American history. I was going to teach it at the college level, but then I dropped out. Is he a white supremacist? Yes, 100% he's a white supremacist. Yeah, he absolutely is. 100%. Why aren't you asking Biden questions when he's not here? True!
Exists. They're vicious, they're violent, they kill people, and they're burning down our cities. And they happen to be radical left.
Just this week, you retweeted to your 87 million followers a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden orchestrated to have SEAL Team 6, the Navy SEAL Team 6, killed to cover up the fake death of bin Laden. Now, why would you send a lie like that to your followers? You retweeted it.
That was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like someone's crazy uncle who can just retweet whatever.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Holy fucking shit. Are you fucking kidding me? What? She's doing such a good job. Holy fuck. This isn't trash, this is a cleanse. What the fuck? That is... You can't just fucking tweet stuff like you're a crazy uncle. That's amazing.
That was a retweet and I do a lot of retweets. And frankly, because the media is so fake and so corrupt, if I didn't have social media, I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media.
I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media. That, he doesn't...
I wouldn't be able to get the word out. And the word is false. And you know what the word is? The word is very simple. We're building our country stronger and better than it's ever been before. And that's what's happening, and everybody knows it.
Okay, we got a bunch of questions for you.
We're winning in a lot of states.
Okay.
We're winning in a lot of states. You're going to see that.
Let me ask, okay, I'm glad you brought up the election because I do want to ask about that. That's another kind of leftover item. A lot of people have asked you, will you accept a peaceful transfer of power? You have said repeatedly, the only way we lose this election is if it is rigged. Now, that is simply not true. The fact is either candidate can lose fair and square without ballot fraud. And so will you accept the results of the election?
That's the way I want it to be. But when I see thousands of ballots, right, unsolicited ballots,
oh my God,
by the millions.
How can you be on this guy's fucking team? Thanks, Doc, for the 5,000 biddies. Look at him, he's sweating. He is sweating. How can you be on this guy's team? How can you, when someone is asked a question, right? And they ask, "Are you going to, if you lose fair and square, are you going to be gracious in your loss?" How do you accept a political person saying, "No, I'm not going to step down from my post if I lose an election in America"? And you're like, "Yeah, that's a good thing." Are you fucking kidding me? If Barack Obama said, "I don't know if I'm going to step down if I lose this one to Mitt Romney," there would be are you kidding me? Right-wing militias would be fucking so mad. They'd take over another bird sanctuary. They would occupy all bird sanctuaries across the states with their AR-15s. Like, holy shit, dude. How can you be for this fucking idiot? This guy doesn't understand any of the rules. This guy doesn't want to play by any of the rules. And if you support him, it's not just the rules, it's just like what makes like the American like process interesting. And like there's a patriotism to passing the torch to someone you disagree with, right? Like it used to be like they had differentiating ideas on like how to tax and shit, and now it's like human rights differences. Like, I mean, although it's always been human rights differences, really, but it's not like slavery was necessarily on the fucking ballot until deep into our history. But fucking wow.
And thousands of them are dumped in dumpsters. And when you see ballots with the name Trump, military ballots from our great military, and they're dumped in garbage cans.
That is a handful. We could go all night, which we won't. But we could go all night, one by one, a single case, a single day. You're talking about 150 million votes. Your own FBI director says there is no evidence of widespread fraud.
Well, then he's not doing a very good job. All you have to do is pick up the papers every day. 50,000 in Ohio, the great state of Ohio. 50,000 in another location, I think North Carolina. 500,000 applications in Virginia. No, there's a tremendous problem. But let me just tell you, they talk about the peaceful transfer, right? They spied on my campaign and they got caught, and they spied heavily on my campaign, and they tried to take down a duly elected sitting president. And then they talk about, will you accept a peaceful transfer? And the answer is yes, I will. But I want it to be an honest election, and so does everybody else. When I see thousands of ballots dumped in a garbage can and they happen to have my name on it, I'm not happy about that.
Okay, but just those are there is in fact no evidence of widespread fraud, and you were sowing doubt about our democracy.
How can you say that? You do read newspapers.
I do.
You do watch the news.
Yes,
I know you read the news, but do you watch it?
I do.
Because every day they're talking about ballots that are corrupt, that are fraudulent.
And millions that are being processed right now.
Sure, but you can win a race. Take a look at me. You can win a race by 1%.
So why are you laying the groundwork for that right now? It's like if I go play tennis with my husband and I say my ankle's hurting right now.
I don't want
He's hedging, and she knows it. And that's fucking brilliant. Wow. Love the fact that he's still gaslighting the election results. Amazing. She's just fucking crushing this shit, dude. She's crushing it.
I want that to happen, Savannah. I want it to be clean.
Okay.
I really feel we're going to win. But I want this to be clean.
Let's get
but
to-
it's sort of ironic that you and them talk about the peaceful transfer when I spent 3.5 years fighting off these maniacs, and now it turns out, everything's there, that they were the ones that dealt with Russia. And it's too bad. But
Okay.
peaceful transfer, I absolutely want that. But ideally,
Okay, again, for the record, that is not what the FBI showed in those papers. What they showed is that Donald Trump probably committed something that a normal citizen, if they committed it, would be considered at worst treason. Right? That's at the very worst. At best, high crimes no matter what. But he's a sitting president, so they can't charge him with the crime because there's no precedent for taking down a president with criminal charges. But the Southern District of New York is sitting on those findings and is willing to press charges on Donald Trump the moment he is no longer president. Donald Trump, if he loses this election, will likely end up in court for his freedom. Vote for Joe Biden because I know you want to see that.
I don't want to transfer because I want to win.
Yes, and I think that your words will probably reassure some folks. Let's get to our first voter. We've got Jacqueline Lugo. Now, she is, I told you this audience is truly split between y'all. You are leaning Biden. She voted for Clinton in 2016. She's registered as an independent. Jacqueline, what's your question for the president? And you hold the mic up close and take off your mic because it's hard to hear out here.
Good evening.
How are you?
Welcome to Miami.
Thank you very much. It's beautiful.
Mr. President, if you knew COVID-19, as you told Bob Woodward in February.
As what?
As you told Bob Woodward in February, was airborne and deadlier than the flu, why did you only put in place a travel ban from China and not put in place other measures mitigating the spread of COVID-19, potentially saving tens of thousands of American lives?
Well, I did put it in very early, as you know. Joe Biden was 2 months behind me, and he called me xenophobic and racist and everything else because I put it
Joe Biden wasn't in charge of the government.
in. And it turned out that I was 100% right. I also put it on Europe very early because I saw there was a lot of infection in Europe. And it's sort of an amazing question, and I appreciate the question and respect the question, but the news doesn't get out the right answer because I put on a travel ban far earlier than Dr. Fauci thought it was necessary, who I like, far earlier than the scientists. I was actually the only one that wanted to put it on, and I did it actually against the advice of a lot of people, including Nancy Pelosi, who had no clue what she was doing.
What? Okay. Antipodian Squid, thanks so much for the 10 months. Lies, he put the ban on too late and the spread. You travel ban before the virus hit the country. Yes, it's like, we lived through that, bro. The reason we're quarantined right now is because you fucked up.
And Biden, when I put on the travel ban, I put it on in January, the end of January. When I put on the travel ban, Joe Biden and others said, this is ridiculous. You don't do that. Well, Dr. Fauci said I saved thousands and thousands of lives.
Did you?
I was early. I was extremely early when I put on the travel ban.
Can I ask you, did your national security advisor on January 28th in the Oval Office warn you that this would be the greatest national security risk of your administration? He didn't say it, or you don't remember?
I read it someplace. Maybe Woodward said it or something. But no, he did not say that. But I knew it was a big threat. At the same time, I don't want to panic this country. I don't want to go out and say everybody's going to die.
Isn't there a middle ground? You don't have to
there's not a
mislead,
middle
but you
ground.
can.
No, there's not a middle ground. You have to be safe, you have to be vigilant, and you have to be smart.
Blue Jinx, you fucking idiot. Okay, let's talk real quick about, you weren't banned, you were timed out because you were spamming chat. When we have a no spam policy. I don't think this guy is the white devil that people think he is after watching CNN. No one watches CNN here. Okay, that's the first part. You have this like weird propaganda brain. Like, you have such a normie brain. This isn't how people work, okay? We're not watching fucking CNN, dude. CNN is a bunch of liberals. We're not liberals. We are leftists. You are in the wrong group of people if you think CNN is the fucking problem here. You're way out of your fucking depth as well. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about when you say, like, no matter what shitty job you have, no matter who is president, you get paid the same shitty wage despite who's president. Blue Jinx, it's because you vote for Republicans that your wage hasn't increased. You stupid fuck. Are you serious? Why haven't my wages gone up? Well, because you vote for people that think there shouldn't be a minimum wage. You fucking fool. Vote for somebody that might have a little bit of class consciousness. On the left, did you know that people on the left want you to have a higher wage? Did you know that people on the left want you to have more fucking money in your pocket and for you to pay less taxes? Did you know that? Did you know that people on the left want you, working class worker, to have more money, pay less taxes, and have more amenities? And by amenities, I mean access to healthcare. Not a fucking healthcare plan. Not an insurance network where you can go to 2 of the 5 hospitals in your metropolitan area. No, I want you to go to any hospital, anywhere in the country, any doctor, anytime for any ailment. That's fucking freedom, my friend. And that's what we fucking vote for. Freedom. Have you ever heard of it? Maybe the big American experiment. We like freedom. Do you fucking like freedom, friend? Or do you like getting shit on by multimillionaires and their lobbyist friends when they vote for Republicans and give themselves tax cuts so that you can continue to work at 7-Eleven for 30 hours a week at just above minimum wage so you can barely pay enough to have a small single-room apartment and just enough weed to get you by the next 2 weeks? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you fucking serious right now? I want you to have access to college, not because I want no college to make, I just want everybody to be equal. No, because I want you, in whatever aptitude you have, which is obviously very fucking low, I want your aptitude to be best spent pursuing what makes you happy. And if you are pursuing what makes you happy, you can excel in this world. And maybe you can turn into a smart, more considerate, more interesting, more introspective person with a little bit of education under your belt. Probably education that you couldn't afford coming out of high school, which would imply or show, it shows the exaggerated difference between my brain and yours, because I was privileged enough to have the ability to go to school for a little bit of time, to learn things, to get some more folds in my fucking brain, to learn about how this world works. Why in the world would you bitch about, well, why does it matter if we make little money? Because you could make more money, you fuck. You could, but you vote against your own self-interest because you fall in line to the propaganda like a fucking mouth-breathing lemming. You absolute buffoon. And I don't mean to make you feel bad. It's not necessarily your fault. You might come from disprivilege. You might come from an area where you were a little bit poor. You didn't have any options for health care. And when you got knocked on your head, they couldn't give you some ibuprofen to reduce the swelling from your encephalitis. Now your brain's pressing up against your fucking skull and you can't even think right. No wonder you vote for fucking Republicans, because you have brain damage. But guess what? I want you to have fucking healthcare so you can mitigate the brain damage. I want you not only to have healthcare, not only to have college, but furthermore, freedom being the fucking number one thing that everybody in the world should have. I want you to be able to not be homeless just because you happen to be disprivileged, just because you happen to be poor. I want you to be able to have a home no matter what. I'm not talking about a 3-bedroom fucking brownstone downtown. No, I'm talking about government housing, minimum. If you are poor, I want you to be able to be housed and safe. I want you to have access to the internet. I want you to have access to food and water. And I want you to be able to better your life. I want you to, if you have the actual will, right? Not this pull yourself up by your bootstraps, trickle down economics, bullshit, Republican capitalism nonsense that doesn't work, has never worked, and will never work because it's propaganda. It's not real. I want you to be able to take these resources that we give you from the government, right? And take them and better your life. Oh, I can pursue at any stage of my life a degree in something that will either improve my financial well-being or just improve in general my mental well-being, yes, that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to go to healthcare every time. I don't want to take your guns. I want you to have your fucking guns. I just don't want you to have crazy guns, okay? Like there's nothing that you can ask for that you actually want that you're going to get from a Republican unless that thing is racism. Okay, you can absolutely get that. If you want a theocracy, if you are very, very Christian, you'll get that from Republicans. And if you're a millionaire, okay? If you're a millionaire, vote Republican. I highly doubt you're a fucking Republican, okay? You're gonna make if you're a millionaire, you can make more money if you're a Republican. But guess what? If you're a millionaire that's part of the LGBT community, or you're not white, or you're not a man, well, you shouldn't. Again, even if you're a millionaire, you shouldn't vote for Republicans because they offer you nothing. They offer you literally nothing. What's on the table is propaganda. Not anything substantial. Did you know? And I'm not even a Joe Biden fan. You're making me fucking fight for Joe Biden because this guy is such a piece of dog shit. Joe Biden will lower your taxes if you make under $400,000 a year. Do you make under $400,000 a year, chat? Probably. The odds are for it. Your taxes get lowered. If you have student loans, they're starting to get rid of your student loan debt because student loans are predatory and unethical, which is, by the way, a stimulus of hundreds of millions of dollars back into the economy. Did you know that if you don't have health care, you will be more likely to be able to have health care under the Joe Biden plan? Did you know that it will stop for-profit prisons, which, by the way, is the exact opposite of freedom, is putting a monetary value on someone's life, on someone's freedom to move about the country? Did you know that they're willing to put federal marijuana legalization on the ballot? I thought the Republicans were the Freedom Party, but instead they want to not let you smoke a drug? Fuck that. Did you know that you can't even fucking die if you vote for Republicans? They won't let you have death with dignity. Say you have cancer. Say you're in pain every day. Death with dignity? Not on the list for Republicans. Guess what? Left-leaning states absolutely have that. You can't even fucking die with freedom. It's literally illegal for you to choose the way your life ends. How is that freedom? If you vote for a Republican, you are fucking dumb. You are 100% dumb. There's nothing for you in the Republican Party. Again, unless you're a white man that's not gay and you make, well, a millionaire really, but over $400,000 a year. A cis white man that makes over $400,000 a year. That's who should vote for Republicans. And only from a monetary perspective. Not to mention, if you're a cis white man that makes over $400,000 a year, if none of your kids are gay, if your spouse or none of your friends are gay, or if your spouse or none of your friends or none of your kids are people of color, right? What's the point? Where's the freedom? Where did that go? Only lefties have these values. Right-wingers do not have these values whatsoever. If you want to live in a world where you can put whatever you want in your body, the government doesn't talk to you unless you need something from it, and your taxes are low, pick lefties, because that's where it's going to go. We are the low taxes. We are the Freedom Party, okay? This is it. This is it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Force feminized men. Yeah, and that too.
You're going to like this next couple of voters.
I don't care if he's American. It's not for him. It's not for him. It's for fucking literally any Republican. Literally any Republican.
A mom and a daughter.
Good.
Mom, Barbara, voted for you in 2016. She's leaning to vote for you again. Now, her daughter was too young to vote last time. She's going to vote for her first time in a presidential campaign, and she is leaning Biden. So imagine the dinner table at their house, okay? So, Barbara, why don't you go first and ask your question?
Bienvenido a Miami.
Thank you.
Mr. Trump, as a frontline ER doctor working through the coronavirus pandemic.
Right.
You're going to still vote for Donald Trump? Barbara,
I know firsthand, and I've seen that many hospitals throughout the United
Aquaman,
States
thanks for the
are
prime.
suffering.
Or the tier 1, not even the prime. Thank you for your hard-earned cash. I appreciate it. Look at our corn pop popping. Thanks, buddy.
Financial
We
hardships.
need a Jake Grant emote? We have one. We have a Jake Grant emote, don't we? Right here. There I'm at. There I am.
These economic effects are trickling down to the frontline workers.
Right.
We are being, across the country, frontline workers are being fired, they're being furloughed, our salaries are being cut. And this is also happening in other economic sectors as well, including the travel industry and hospitality.
Right.
My question to you is, how are you going to get the United
Before this question, I want to answer something in chat that just happened. Tulip asked a question, what is Biden going to actually do for trans people materially, though? It's cool to have a president not virtue signaling to the judge, but it won't make things much better. Okay, so number one, materially, representation in regards to the question that was asked earlier, where Joe Biden said 8-year-olds should be able to transition, stuff like that. That's huge. That's huge. That makes wine moms and soccer moms and like liberal lib dads, you know, that makes them accept their kids quicker. And I know it shouldn't, but that's what happens. Okay, that's huge. That's a big deal. And I know you're saying materially, so it's a little bit different than what you're asking. But that is number one. Normalizing the conversation of children that experience dysphoria is, I'm so proud of that, regardless of whether or not he believes it. It's irrelevant if Joe Biden believes that. However, materially, trans people, number one is not being banned from the military service. That's huge, obviously, right? That's a material change that will happen in trans people's lives that is absolutely enormous, because there's actually more people per capita that are trans in the military than the general population, if I recall correctly. It's a big deal. It's important. And the military is not just like people with guns. I mean, the military spans tons of, it's a huge public works thing. Like a lot of people have jobs in the military, right? This goes for IT, this goes for engineers, this goes for manual labor. Like there's lots that's military that isn't just wearing a uniform and shooting a gun, right? Also materially speaking, just in general, you're going to have a situation where trans medical issues are going to be listened to in a way that's, I mean, just obviously not going to happen under a Trump presidency, right? So, for instance, covering transition or mental health care or stuff like that in regards to what people should expect from their health care in general when they get it from the government, from Medicaid or Medicare. This is the type of thing they're talking about, is actually giving trans people those things, right? Like covered under Medicare if you apply, right? And frankly, they're expanding the coverage of Medicare and Medicaid under the Joe Biden plan, and this includes trans people, right? So these are two very huge material things that will help trans people. Okay, so it's, again, Joe Biden is not me, right? I would crush this shit for you, okay? I don't have this power, though. Joe Biden is a liberal, but we're trying to push this shit left. And frankly, again, I would rather fight against somebody that says the words 8-year-olds can transition, right? Someone who says that, whether they believe it or not, someone who says that on the debate stage or a town hall, yes, an 8-year-old can transition, okay? I have already made, like, that's like 3 hours of debate with someone who's anti-trans to get to that point where I can even talk about healthcare. I am already way past where I need to be to have a discussion about they should be able to have their transition covered by Medicare. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is huge. That's where the conversation starts now, is 8-year-olds can transition. That's huge. That's super important. And I know that might not seem important, but it is, because politics, again, is about give and take. So, like, I don't have to give a lot at all to get to what I need. Pushing Joe Biden is fucking working, and we need to keep doing exactly. Not just pushing Joe Biden, pushing liberals is working. Biden seems willing to compromise with progressives and let them do the process. Compromise can feel insulting and degrading, but Trump literally wants them dead. Yes, exactly. And yes, this is exactly the correct take. Correct. You're beautiful, chat. All right, so I'm gonna back up just a second so we can hear her question. Sorry, Barbara or whatever your name was. Whew. I'm not sure how I feel about kids taking hormone blockers and stuff, though, and I'm pretty far left. Well, secret homework, just look up the studies, and the studies show... Well, you don't have to look up the studies. You can just take my word for it, but you can look up the studies. Here's how you should feel about it. The overwhelming support of the medical community lies in hormone blocking for children. The overwhelming support, right? So medical professionals who deal with transition and deal with dysphoria understand that like hormone blocking for it's puberty blocking. Puberty blockers happen for other things that aren't related to trans issues at all. They already existed, and now they use them to keep trans kids from experiencing puberty. Do you know why? Because dysphoria is an incredibly damaging event. Anytime it rears its head, right? It's not just uncomfortable. It can manifest in a myriad of different ways to each and every different person, right? So like someone with dysphoria can basically it's intense displeasure with one's physical body, right? In regards to how it meshes with their self-image. And again, like imagine like, have you ever felt really shitty about yourself in any way? If you don't have dysphoria, this is just for people without dysphoria. Imagine the worst you've ever felt about yourself. Okay, just like I feel like a fat slob. I'm ugly and and it made you cry or whatever. Or just gave you anxiety or anything. It's worse than that. Dysphoria is worse than that, and it's persistent, daily, every day, grind, constantly. Now consider the following. Okay, a child going just ignore transness for just a moment. When you were a teenager and you went through puberty, were you a particularly well-adjusted individual? Would you find yourself to be a little erratic and emotional when you were going through puberty? Maybe not. Maybe everything was falling apart around you. Like if you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something, and they broke up with you, end of the world. Totally, I'm gonna kill myself type shit. Like in Minecraft. Just like a lot of stuff is world ending when you're a teenager, and that's stuff that doesn't matter. Think about the stuff that did matter. Did anyone lose a parent when they were a teenager? Huge, devastating stuff. Sarah's one of them. My girlfriend, she lost a parent when she was a teenager. Absolutely, like the worst time to lose a parent is when you're a teenager, really, right? Because you're able to like understand death in a way that like a little kid can't. But you're not an adult, so you can't compartmentalize that in a productive way. I mean, people get fucked up from that. Now, consider the normal stuff everybody goes through. Breakups. They go through friendships. They go through nonsense. They go through maybe they do lose a parent, or just a grandparent, or a schoolmate. Something loss starts to happen in the teens. Like you start to really experience real world issues start to creep up. Now imagine the incredible, just crushing feeling of hating yourself, and then experiencing the literal physical markers of that when puberty starts happening. Body hair, growth of if you're say you're assigned female at birth, so you're starting to get breasts, or if you're assigned male at birth, you're starting to get like hair on different places, and you don't want that. It's not feminine or it's not masculine. It doesn't, or even if you're not a binary trans person, it's just mesh with whatever you got going on. Imagine. Right? And I'm there's probably a bunch of trans people in here who are like, I don't want to fucking think about this. But like that's what they went through. To prevent that for a single child is grace. Is I mean, it's like the kindest thing you can do for somebody is to mitigate their suffering in any way it is, right? And kids suffer when they go through puberty and they are trans. They're suffering. For what? It makes liberal moms feel icky? Don't care. I don't give a shit if Becky is a little bit uncomfortable about this, okay? I'm looking at this kid suffering. You get to go on hormone blockers. That's the end of. You get to. Like, and like all these trans people that are in here right now, a lot of them are past, I mean, all of you are past puberty, right? They've already experienced this. And a lot of them didn't have the benefit of going on hormone blockers. And I don't know, there's not many trans people that I have talked to who would say, if I could go back in time, I still wouldn't take the blockers. I mean, it's such a kindness to offer somebody that is suffering, and it makes me like I think about Hannah's whole arc, and like just thinking about like, and we met when she was 17, 16. You know, I mean, she was a kid when we started becoming friends. I mean, I was a kid too, but like I was a little bit older. And she was going through like the tail end of puberty when that was happening. You know what I mean? Like she grew her first beard on camera in front of everybody. And did you know that her least favorite thing about the thing that makes her most uncomfortable is facial hair? Of all the things that give her dysphoria, facial hair is the number one thing. And she grew a beard on camera for all of us. And it was like a bit. Right? Lost in it. Thanks so much for following. Now, I'm just saying. Like, yeah. And I'm reading all these things in chat. Like I read Bellum's, and I don't want to repeat them because it can be a little bit more dysphoric. But I just realized you remind me of my best social studies teacher who would break the lesson plan to do long rants, learn the most from those rants. Exactly. Well, I mean, I kind of did the same thing. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, we're all telling you we'd love to have had block. Exactly. Yeah. I honestly feel like I missed 17 years of my life because I went through the wrong puberty. Exactly. So I don't care if it makes you feel a little icky. Okay? Someone who's like, I don't know. Every single trans person disagrees with you. And that's the people we should be listening to on trans issues, should we not? Yes. Yes is the answer. How do trans people feel? Well, it makes me feel icky. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You know what makes me feel icky? Colostomy bags. Having poop on the outside of you? That makes me feel icky. Should I stop people without buttholes from having colostomy bags? Or people with just digestive issues in general? Should I stop them from wearing colostomy bag? Because, ew, what if you poke it and the poop falls out? No. I made it a funny thing, but this is more serious than that. Love people. Love people enough to be uncomfortable with whatever's going on. Excuse me, on with them. If you can be uncomfortable with them taking blockers, I'm fine with that. But don't stop them from doing it. Ugh. It's almost like the only people who have concerns about puberty blockers are cis. I know, right? You gonna watch Biden's? Not today. We might watch it at some point. But this is beautiful. Anyway, let's get back into this. There's lots of stuff going on. Did colostomy bag burst on her during a dance? Holy shit, that's so sad. That's so sad. I went to school with a girl with a colostomy bag. That's why I thought about it. Holy shit, I really appreciate the answer. I guess I really never saw it from that perspective. If I had low times, I would never want anyone to feel like that, what I did, much less feel worse. You completely flipped me. Well, there we go. Secret homework. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you can think about it that way, because that's the way it's been explained to me. So I have the privilege of knowing trans people. So can we get cobbies in chat for secret homework? Can we get hella cobbies in chat for secret homework? That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful to me. Okay? I love you for that. Seriously, I genuinely appreciate you listening to that. That's absolutely wonderful. Scald. Lately, I've been remembering times when I was a child and wanted to be a girl and told my parents about it. They forced me to be more masculine. If I had gotten on my blockers, my life would be much better now. True. Sasquatch, do it. There you go. You are beautiful people. All right, here's the question that this lady was going to ask.
Frontline workers are being fired, they're being furloughed, our salaries are being cut. And this is also happening in other economic sectors as well, including the travel industry and hospitality.
Right.
My question to you is, how are you going to get the United States back on track, both in terms of the economy and the pandemic?
So it's happening. We just set a record, 11.4 million jobs. We are going to have a phenomenal third quarter, which will be announced on November 1st, just prior to the big November 3rd day, where I think you're going to see a red wave. but we're going to have a tremendous announcement. I believe. I mean, we're going to find out. But GDP is going through the roof.
GDP. Okay. How much of your do you guys get a kickback on that the good old GDP chat? Do you guys get a little bit of a kickback on that? Like we from your labor, the gross domestic product of the country, you should get like a percentage back on that, right? No, we don't. Oh, that's okay. All right, cool.
Jobs, real estate, houses, so many things are happening. So
Jobs, real estate, and houses. Why'd you say that same thing twice?
So people were saying we were going to have a 42% unemployment. Look, this was a thing that came into our country, and it happened more than 100 years ago, and it happened now. They were talking about a 42% unemployment rate.
Who was talking about that? I heard 20%.
It just came out at 7.8%.
Who was talking about 42%?
Unemployment, and people can't even believe it. Our economy is going to be, next year, if we don't have somebody that raises taxes and quadruples taxes, which they want to do and kills everything,
they don't want to quadruple taxes, for the record. They don't want to do that. They want to tax people over $400,000 of worth. That's not that many people.
Economy is going to be phenomenal next year. We're going to have a phenomenal. And I'll tell you, Savannah, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country last year, including the state of Florida, where we are now, and Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, and Ohio, every place. We had the greatest economy we ever had. We had to close it down. We saved 2 million lives. We're opening it up. We have a V shape, and it's coming back.
We have a V shape. What's that mean? He keeps saying that, but I've never heard him understand it.
One other thing, we really helped the hospitals. We've sent billions and billions of dollars to the hospitals. In addition, hundreds of millions of masks and gowns. And we went
Rich
into the
guy, thanks for following. Prove it, rich guy. Prove it. Very wet-ass V word.
This country was not equipped with ventilators, and I'm not blaming anybody for it. But we're now making thousands.
Oh, I know he meant a V shape on a graph, but I don't think he knows what that means. I think one person said V shape to him, and he thought, that's interesting. It looks like a V. Dr. Randy said, I've had one N95. Dr. Randy is a doctor. By the way, you should change your name to Dr. Randy instead of Daimaki or whatever the hell it is. You should change your name. One N95 mask. One N95 mask. That's ridiculous.
Of ventilators a month, and we have all we can use. We're sending them all over the world because the world needs them. So they've worked very hard and really very, very effectively. Thank you. Great question.
Let's talk to Isabella and put the mic close to your mouth. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. President, my parents are, as you heard, both frontline healthcare workers, and I've seen the physical and the mental tolls that this pandemic has taken on them firsthand, as well as the exacerbation of coronavirus due to Americans who are not wearing masks or participating in social distancing. After contracting COVID-19 yourself, has your opinion changed on the importance of mask wearing?
Uh-oh.
No, because I was okay with the masks. I was good with it, but I've heard many different stories on masks. I mean,
oh my fucking God, dude.
I had, being president, you have people, they bring meals, they bring this, and I had an instance recently where a very wonderful person is bringing me a meal, and he's playing with his mask, and he's touching his mask all over the place, and then he's bringing a plate in, and I'm saying, well, I don't know if that's so good. I mean, the good news, I didn't eat it, okay? I decided not to eat it. This was a month ago, but look, you have on the mask.
He just blamed. I'm gonna blame my fucking wage slave food worker. It's probably a White House. It's probably White House cooking staff. Let's see how much money they make. White House cooking staff salary. Let's see. Salaries of White House chefs range. Oh no. The low. Okay, so the low end workers make $18,000. Well, the head chef, probably the leader, makes almost $500,000. That's interesting. Cascadia, thanks so much for giving one to Dude Spanking Dudes. Okay. The average is $93,000. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I think most chefs would take that. But what's... I need to know how much everyone in the White House makes each year. Wait. It just said the highest paid White House employee, excluding the president, is this guy. So how come the top... Okay, so I don't think the White House cook makes $400,000. Just tossing that out there. Because the president only makes $400,000. Yeah, I do not think the... nope. Yeah. Shocker. I don't think they make that much money. Okay. All right. I was a little skeptical there. Little skeptical.
You know, you have two stories. You have a story where they want, a story where they don't want. I am all for it.
I don't get that because it's just all of your public health officials, your administration, they're in unison about this. No. They're all in unison about it. The University of Washington, which is they have a model that your coronavirus task force relies on, says that if everyone wore a mask, you could cut expected deaths in half.
And then you have other people that disagree.
Well, what does that mean?
Scott Atkins, if you look at Scott, Dr. Scott, he's from great guy, Stanford, he will tell you
he's
that
not an infectious disease expert.
No, I don't know. No, look, he's an expert. He's one of the great experts of the world.
But I don't get it because you have so much power and influence as president. You could require it at your rallies and you could say, everyone put on a mask right now. And the University of Washington says you would save lives.
University of Washington, and you have other places say different things. You have a lot of, hey, Dr.
Jesus Christ.
Fauci said don't wear a mask, right?
At first, but then everybody agreed.
Well, I don't know that he changed his mind. But then you have a report coming out 2 days ago that 85% of the people wearing masks.
I looked at that report. It's not about mask wearing. It was neutral on the question of masks.
We're on the same side. I say wear the mask. I'm fine with it. I have no problem. We're on the same side.
Let's take a break. We're going to get more questions right after this.
That's not on the same side. That's just really dumb. Does this actually play an ad? Oh, they do actually take a break. Okay. Couple minute break. Couple minutes. Should be back any second now.
And we're back. We're live in Miami with President Trump for a town hall. Live in Miami with President Trump for a town hall. Thank you again, Mr.
That statistic is literally wrong. The study wasn't testing mask use. Yeah.
President, we have another voter.
It was seeing how many people got infected at a bar.
Now, Christy Alonso, come on out, Christy. She is leaning slightly towards you. She says she voted for you in 2016. Christy, you ready? Take the mask off, hold the mic close, and let's hear your question.
Thank you for your service, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
We're a hard-working, middle-class family of 4. My husband and I are both self-employed, and we have to get our own individual health care. As you know, healthcare costs have gone up considerably over the decades, and you had originally said you were going to repeal and replace Obamacare. What is your plan now in 2020 to make healthcare costs affordable for Americans like myself?
He doesn't have a policy for this, so I'm very interesting. He dodged us. Yeah, I don't know. He did not tell Chad about Feds stealing PPE from Michigan. I mean, they stole PPE from everybody. I mean, yes.
So we got rid of the individual mandate on Obamacare, which was the worst part of Obamacare, and now you could actually say it's not Obamacare because that's how big it was, where you had to pay a fortune for the privilege of not having to pay for bad health insurance. So we got rid of that. That was a big
Vork Void, thanks for the 4 months.
Thing. And by doing that, and we will always have, by the way, we're always protecting people with pre-existing conditions, and I can't say that more strongly.
We're not. What? Okay. Terp. Oh, let me tell you about those wacky Antifa folks.
But we've been able to bring healthcare costs way down. Now,
she just said healthcare costs have gone up, and so I guess you disagree.
I took over Obamacare, got rid of the individual mandate, made it good, managed it much better. Remember, they had the $5 billion...
Okay, answer how healthcare is going to happen. He's not answering the question.
Website disaster and all of the problems they had. The problem with Obamacare, it's not good.
The problem with Obamacare is it's not good. He has taken care of the individual mandate on Obamacare, which wasn't good. Did you also know that the individual mandate on Obamacare is bad, and he took it out? And then the worst thing about Obamacare is that it's not good. Okay, so we're almost there. We are almost to a thing. No, I was just getting really high, Argonian.
We'd like to terminate it, and we want a much less expensive health care that's a much better health care.
So what is it?
And that's where we're aiming. And if we can do that, and we have a very good chance of doing it, but we've also brought down the price of Obamacare. Problem with Obamacare, it basically is never going to be great.
How do you ask this question? She's a Trump supporter. How do you ask this question? You're in the same room as the man. He answers this question to you without saying a fucking word. He hasn't even approached. He hasn't approached telling you about a healthcare plan yet. Like, what?
And I want to give great health care.
Mr. President, I got to follow
thank you very much.
On the pre-existing conditions. This is such a big issue for voters.
It is a big issue for me, too.
In point of fact, your administration is about to go to the Supreme Court to argue to throw out the rest of Obamacare, which includes the protections for pre-existing conditions.
That's right.
So your administration is in court right now trying to get rid of that protection.
In order to replace it with a much better health care at a much lower price and always.
So what's that plan? What is that plan? We're going to give it to you at a lower price. What do you mean? Is it still private health care? How do you guarantee a lower price? Is there going to be a marketplace like there was with the Affordable Care Act? If so, is it going to be called Affordable Care Act 2? Like, what is it? What are the facets of this health care plan? I don't understand.
Under all circumstances, we are going to protect the Republicans. And I mean, maybe I changed the party a lot over the last 3 years, but we will protect people with pre-existing conditions. And Savannah, what I want to do, get rid of the terrible Obamacare. I've already done it to a large extent because, as you know, the individual mandate is gone. That was the worst part.
You repealed, but you haven't replaced. Now, you've been in office almost 4 years.
What we have done.
You had both houses of Congress, Senate and House, in Republican hands, and there is not a replacement yet.
That's right. I'm sorry, but if you look, we had both houses, and what did? We got rid of the individual mandate.
But
that went through the legislature.
The promise was repeal and replace.
Look, we should be on the same side.
Why does he keep saying that? We should be on the same side of what? You're not answering any fucking questions, brother. You're not answering them. Throwing out healthcare plans is not a plan. It's the opposite of a healthcare plan. Like, I don't understand. This is not... This isn't a thing.
I want it very simple. I'm going to put it very simple.
Okay, what's your healthcare plan?
We would like to terminate it, and we would like to replace it
with what?
With something that's much less expensive. And
okay, explain what is less expensive to you? Are you going to cap the amount that someone can charge? Are you going to reimburse families that go over a certain limit? Because here's Joe Biden's plan. Joe Biden's plan, by the way, anybody listening, not only are they going to do, so they're not going to go full single payer, which is what we want and is what we're fighting for, which is why when we get Joe Biden in there, we push for single payer, okay? We push for single payer. Guess what? Second term Joe Biden, we might get him to push to single payer. I'm just tossing that out there. If he's alive. Joe Biden's healthcare plan is right now, it's under a certain amount of money. I think it was like 30-something thousand, maybe 40,000. I don't remember. Expanding Medicaid, it's not perfect, or Medicare, I think. Yeah, Medicare. Medicaid's for the olds. I think they're expanding both, but Medicare is the one that matters. Which one is it? Medicare? I think it's Medicare. Try to remember it like aid helps old people, but you also care for old people, so now I'm forgetting. Sorry, I had a gooby. Not really gooby. You ever get like a feels like an icky in your eye, but it's not actually an icky? Medicare is federal, Medicaid is state. There you go. Lowering Medicare age to 60. Medicaid is for everybody. There we go. You can hear Sarah back there, but also a big thing, and this is definitely on the way to single payer. I think this is definitely a way to get going as you show people how it mitigates cost. You can only spend a certain percentage of your salary yearly on insurance, and I think it was like 18% for a family. Like you can only spend 18% of your money on insurance. Anything over that, or maybe it was 8%. I can't remember. We did on stream not too long ago. If you spend over that money, you get every single cent that you spent over that percentage mark back on your next tax return. Your dog's name, thank you. ACA was 9%, so maybe it's 8%. I don't know. Maybe it's 8 or 9% then. I don't think it was 18. 18 seems high, but you can't spend more than that. You'll be giving it back. Your dog's name, 3 months. Thanks, man.
And much better. We will always protect people with pre-existing conditions.
But if you're successful in court in November, those pre-existing conditions, that promise will be gone.
If we don't succeed, we are running the remnants of whatever's left because we took it apart. We are running the remnants of whatever is left much better than the previous administration, which ran it very badly. Wow. But we'd like to have new health care, much better and much less expensive.
Let me get to question number 5, and you'll like this.
He thought he answered that question. Did you see him nod? He's like, nailed it. What's that? That's not a fucking policy. It's less expensive. Okay, how?
Stuck in traffic. His name is Joe White. He is registered as a Democrat. He says he's leaning toward Biden and Biden and voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. And his question was, a second stimulus payment has been broadly agreed upon by the Republicans and Democrats, and yet now we're in October and it's still not passed. Why not use your office to make the second stimulus payment a separate targeted emergency relief package to help Americans weather the pandemic?
Well, we've actually passed 3 packages, and we're on our 4th. And I agree with him 100%. He should vote for me. The problem you have is Nancy Pelosi. She couldn't care less about the worker.
Oh, the problem is Nancy Pelosi. Follow-up question. Why are you getting cucked by Nancy Pelosi then? Gimpzilla, thanks for following. Why is Nancy Pelosi able to prevent you from doing this thing? Huh? Interesting. Are you saying you're too weak? You're too weak to defeat Nancy Pelosi? Odd.
She couldn't care less about our people, and we should have a stimulus, and I want a stimulus. The Republicans will approve a stimulus. The problem is she doesn't want to do it because she thinks it's bad for her election. The fact is she's wrong because people know she's in our way. She's not approving it. She doesn't appreciate our people, and she doesn't appreciate at all our workers. Nancy Pelosi, we are ready to sign and pass stimulus, but she's got to approve.
People do not love the back and forth of Washington, but this has been a roller coaster. Back in early October, you one day tweeted, no more negotiations until after Election Day. I'm walking away. Then I think the next couple of days you said maybe we can do something targeted. Right. Then you said I want a big, big bill, but then Senate Republicans said, no, we're not for that. So you're the big deal maker. How come this is so? You yourself have changed positions.
Got him.
Did you ever hear of a word called negotiation? We're negotiating, okay?
But people's lives are hanging in the balance.
And you know who I'm negotiating against? Nancy Pelosi, because she doesn't want to give the money. We should have stimulus. This was not our people's fault. This was China's fault.
Jesus fucking Christ. I genuinely want to understand how you vote for this fucking idiot. I need to understand how what he just said there, you go, yep, true. That's how I feel. Yup. Wow, what he just said is exactly the way I wanted him to answer that question. How? Who the fuck is that person? Who the fuck is that person? It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely fucking incredible that he can just say words that mean nothing like that.
and she's penalizing our people. I'm ready to sign a big, beautiful stimulus. You saw the other day, I say go big or go home, right?
That's what I was
want
talking
it to
about.
be big. I want it to be bold. I want the money to go directly to the people.
Senate Republicans with you? They're going to go big?
They'll go.
Big
Yeah,
old number?
They'll go. They're going to be
okay,
very
because
happy.
so far they have not said they would.
Because I haven't asked them to, because I can't get through Nancy Pelosi.
I can't get through Nancy Pelosi. Interesting. We don't need stimulus. We need better unemployment benefits. The pandemic's going to be around for... Oh, yeah. The conservative old ladies at my work were disgusted at his behavior at the debate, but are still planning on voting for him. Well, yeah, they're stupid, though.
Okay.
If Nancy Pelosi and I, through my representatives or directly, I don't
Managed to
care,
configure. Thanks for
we
continuing
agree to
your gift
something,
sub.
the Republicans will agree to it.
Okay. Our next question comes from, this is interesting. She voted for Clinton in 2016, but recently changed her registration from Democrat to Independent. She says she's truly undecided. Her name's Becky Lightman. Hello, Becky. What?
Truly undecided, and her name is Becky. I remain unshocked.
What's your question?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you. So, corporate tax rates are a hot button issue, and you have cut corporate tax rates, and your opponent Joe Biden is planning to raise them.
Right.
A lot of Americans think that corporations don't pay their share of taxes and want to see those tax rates increase. Right. What do you say to those Americans to maybe tell them why you want the corporate tax rate lower and why that helps them?
It's a great question. We've created more...
Trickle down. Hoike, man. Thanks for the 6 months.
More jobs than this country has ever created. We're up to 160 million jobs. We were never even close to that number.
Jobs. Oh, my God. Did you know that unemployment doesn't necessarily tell you whether or not the country is doing well? Did you guys know that the vast majority of jobs created under the Trump administration are also underemployed? Did you know that? Do you know what underemployment is? Underemployment means that although you have a job, the job is not enough to let you live on a survivable wage because you either don't have enough hours or it pays like dog shit. That's most of the jobs created by Donald Trump. Wow. Wow. Fucking impressive, bro. Impressive. Like all things, he just comes up short.
We were just hitting 160 million jobs. Companies are pouring into our nation because of the tax rate. And if Biden comes in and raises taxes on everybody, including middle income taxes, which he wants to do, you will blow this thing and you'll end up with a depression, the likes of which you've never had. That's what's going to happen. We have something that's really good. The reason we're coming back so strong is because we built a very strong foundation. Companies are moving in. Car companies are moving into Michigan and to Ohio and to South Carolina and North Carolina just today. So what's happening is they're coming in because we reduced the taxes. Our taxes, our corporate taxes, were the highest in the world, and now they're among the lower taxes. They're not the lowest, but they're among the lowest. And what that means is jobs, but also...
Don't fall for this. This is the lie of trickle-down economics, okay? This is the lie of trickle-down economics. Do you guys need a little paint? Do you guys need a little paint here? Okay. All right, it's time for some paint, chat. Time for paint. Okay. So here we got a big blue for boss. Okay? Boss is making the big bucks. Okay, boss is very happy. We got lots of money. Okay, we got lots of it. Okay, so boss, this is at first he's making, let's say, $1 million. What? This is gonna look a little fucked up, but that's okay. 1 million. Look at that! I fucking nailed it. One poo. One, there we go. Sort of, no, it still looks like poo. Okay, we gotta, there we go. I fixed it. All right, shut up, chat. Anyway, he makes $1 million, okay? So if he tax 10% of this, okay, because he needs to create jobs, okay, he comes away with $90K, All right, just 10%. So if he's only making $1 million, right? It's like a small business, okay? And they sell, I don't know, just because I don't want to work in billions. But just say the corporate tax rate works on this person too, okay? Mini Crow, thanks so much for the 10 months. I appreciate you. So you got some employees down here, and each of them makes, I don't know, fucking $10,000 a year. Okay, so we're just removing zeros because it's easier. Okay, $10,000 a year. Okay, he can conceivably pay for like another several thousand employees. You know what I'm saying? Or a couple thousand employees, or a couple hundred employees. I mean, under here. But like, assuming he has billions. It's just like wow. What's he doing with the leftover money? So let's say he's got 10 employees that make $10,000, or fuck it, 5 employees that make $100,000. Let's do that. 5 employees that make $100,000. So 5 times $100K is, of course, $500,000. Okay, so he's only spent 10%. Because he has a ridiculously low amount, which would be $100,000, right? $100K. So guess what? This guy's still, okay? He has $400,000, okay, a year. $400,000 a year, okay? Just enough to have his taxes raised by Joe Biden, which is great. So here's the thing. If you cut his taxes in half, did he need that extra $50,000? Did he need it? Who's he need it for? What's this guy with $400,000 need? 50, and then I mean, it gets even worse when you go to corporation. They have $1 billion, right? Like, if it's $1 billion, it gets even worse because now this is $1 mil, right? This is $1 mil. Okay. Gets even worse. Now what? Now another 10% says, just a minute. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Can we tax at a reasonable rate for anything? 500 poo, true. Here we go. That's not what poo looks like. Doesn't matter. What the fuck are we doing here? Why? Why incentivize hoarding cash? It's not even good for capitalism. Even under capitalism, you don't want somebody just like having money. You want them to be like moving the money around. That's what makes capitalism go boom. Capitalism go burr when money move. Okay? Cardi B would be very good at capitalism. She is very good at capitalism.
She makes money move. We've done a very big middle-income tax package. So if we get in, we're going to do the middle-income tax package. But it's a great question. And if he comes along and raises rates, all those companies that are coming in, they will leave the U.S. so fast your head will spin.
So fast your head will spin. Okay. And then they will lose out on the American consumer base, won't they? So, like a car company, it's not necessarily cheaper for them to move off-site unless it's like contiguous. So Canada or Mexico, which is why Mexico has lots of car companies like Toyota and stuff. Toyota can sell cheap Toyotas to us because they don't have to ship them very far. They start in Mexico and then they just go north. There's a reason like BMWs cost more money. You know what I'm saying? Because they're from far away. So it doesn't really behoove the car companies that just moved into North Carolina. By the way, you're not moving into North Carolina spending millions of dollars on all this shit because you're confident Donald Trump's gonna get a win or something like. And then if he loses, you're gonna move out. No, you're gonna commit to the jobs that are there. It's a waste of money to just rip it all down and go somewhere else, dude. Companies will be here or they won't be here. It's irrelevant.
We can't let that happen.
So American companies have incentive to live here.
Subject of taxes, as you know, the New York Times has obtained, it says, years of your tax returns, among other things. It says that you have debts of approximately $421 million that you have personally guaranteed and that will come due in the next 4 years. The question is, on behalf of voters, who do you owe $421 million
first of all,
to?
let me answer.
Whoa, got him.
What they did is illegal, number one. Also, the numbers are all wrong with the numbers they released.
Oh, the numbers are wrong?
So you understand, when you have a lot of real estate, I have real estate, you know a lot of it, okay? Right down the road, Doral, big stuff, great stuff. When I decided to run, I'm very under-levered, fortunately, but I'm very under-levered. I have a very, very small percentage of debt compared, in fact, some of it I did as favors to institutions that wanted to loan me money. $400 million compared to the assets that I have, all of these great properties all over the world, and frankly,
yikes.
The Bank of America building in San Francisco. I don't love what's happening to San Francisco.
Well, do I hear you right? It sounds like you're saying $400 million isn't that much.
One of the biggest office buildings.
But are you confirming that yes, you do owe some $400 million?
What I'm saying is that it's a tiny percentage of my net worth.
That sounds
and you'll see that soon because we're doing things. You know, we've given, I think it's 108 or 112 pages of financial detail to elections, and we have to file as the president, as any politician, you have to file. Nobody ever looks at that. When they do, they see how incredible the company is, but more importantly, they see where this debt is. No, I don't owe Russia money. I owe a very, very small. It's called mortgages. Yeah. People have a house, they put a mortgage.
Any foreign bank, any foreign entity?
Not that I know of, but I will probably, because it's so easy to solve, and if you'd like to do, I will let you know who I owe whatever small amount of money. I want to say two things. Number one, it's a very small amount of money. Number two, it's very straight. It's very, very straight. But it's a tiny percentage of the worth. Did you ever hear the expression underlevered?
Yeah.
I am extremely underlevered.
Well, here's the thing.
He only owes. He's like you and me, guys. He owes $400 million. He owes $400 million. Does he mean underleveraged? By the way, is that what he means? Is underleveraged? Is that what that means? Because he doesn't have enough debt. Okay. All right. I know that. Like he could carry more debt. It'd be totally fine. But like, what?
You could clear this up tonight by just releasing your tax returns yourself. I mean, that's what I understand. I think people are just wondering.
As you know,
you're
I'm
the
under
only.
audit. It turned out that I am
yes,
under audit.
But the
They
IRS
actually
says
excuse
you are.
me. No, but you
the
accused.
IRS says that doesn't stop you from releasing.
You accused me of not being under audit previously, and so did other people at NBC, and I am under audit. So that was
seen ahead because I'm a bad boy, but his tax return response is so fucking baffling.
I am under audit. No person in their right mind would release prior to working out the deal with the IRS. And I'll go a step further. I'm treated very badly by the IRS. They treat me very, very badly. You have people in there from previous administrations. They treat me very badly.
They're mean to me. Okay.
But we're under audit. It's very routine in many ways, but we're under audit. They like to change the game, change the rules, do everything. You saw what they did with the Tea Party people. You saw what they did with the religious groups.
But to be clear, there is no law or rule that prohibits you from releasing your tax returns.
No, except common sense and intelligence and having lawyers that say, because I would love to release them, and as soon as we come to a conclusion, I will release them, and very gladly.
He said he was going to do that 3 years ago.
But if you go to elections, and if you take a look, you'll see 112, I think it's 112. It talks about the income, which is rather massive. It talks about all of the property.
My income is massive.
They have them listed. You can never...
Chat, would you like me to owe $400 million in debt? If so, please subscribe. Thank you. I promise to mismanage that money.
Learn more, but you know what happened? People went there. All the reporters went. There was like a feeding frenzy. This was originally when I filed it. And I filed it every year. I update it every year. My son is here. They run the company. I don't run the company.
It also says that you paid $7.
Did you see the clip of him saying he'd leave the U.S.?
Change out, because you know what? Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
I mean, that is such a fucking endorsement. Guys, he's going to leave. He's going to leave. Although he'll probably be leaving to avoid retribution for all the money he owes and the taxes he hasn't paid. To be fair, that's probably what it's going to be. Oh yeah, chat. You ever scratch your cornhole? Oh yeah. You ever scratch your cornhole? Probably not. You probably don't know what that feels like. Oh.
$150 in taxes in the year you were elected. Is that
that's
true
a
or not?
statutory number. It's a statutory.
But
it's
is
not
that true?
I think it's a filing number. You pay $750. It's a filing or a filing fee.
Most people here probably pay
No,
more.
I don't know. I can tell you this. If they have my tax returns, as you know, they have to go to jail. It's illegal. But their numbers were wrong. But let me tell you what else. I don't owe money to any of these sinister people. This has been going on for years now. Russia. It turned out to be a hoax. And it turned out to be that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats were dealing with Russia, not me. It's a whole hoax. So I would not mind at all saying who it is, but it's a very small. When you look at vast properties like I have, and they're big and they're beautiful and they're well located, when you look at that.
Emoluments, please? Emoluments? Anybody? Fucking emoluments, please? God, Jesus. Holy fuck.
The amount of money, $400 million, is a peanut. It's extremely underlevered. And it's levered with normal banks. Not a big deal.
All right, let's take a break. We'll get more voter questions right after this.
Does the break include a round of chemo for everybody? Can we get... Chat, can we get a little chemo action? Anybody want a little...
Her ramble was just a gorilla.
High test chemo. Quick Sticks Gaming, thanks so much for following. God, this guy's so fucking dumb. He's just so fucking dumb, dude.
Her ramble was just a gorilla.
So dumb. Really, really dumb. Wee.
We are live in Miami in the middle of a town hall with President Trump. Thank you again for being here. We've got another voter, Adam Schuker. He voted for Clinton in 2016. He's registered as a Democrat and says he's supporting...
Trump says he's going to flee when he leaves office. So on January 21st, 2021, someone needs to revoke his passport and warn him as a flight risk.
Honestly? Thanks, Obi-Wan, for the weed number. I'm not actually... Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to that. It does sound like he's kind of like... He knows he's in trouble, right? I don't know, man. You gotta go somewhere where they don't extradite. I don't know. Okay, this drinking game is not working out. I shouldn't have set the shots to every dog whistle he's about to... Oh, jeez.
Biden, Adam, take it away.
Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Adam. 4
years ago, Senate leadership said it was inappropriate to push through a nominee in an election year.
Got him.
Yet they fast-tracked your nominee for the Supreme Court just today. The question I have for you is, what do you say to the voter that thinks it's hypocritical to act in that manner and that they can't trust Republicans' word?
So
true.
When I was elected and when a president is elected, they're elected for a period of 4 years. And Justice Ginsburg said it best, I think talking about President Obama having to do with somebody else, that the president is put there for 4 years, not for 3 years. So during this fourth year, it happened to come up, unfortunately, because I had great respect for Justice Ginsburg, but a vacancy happened to come up. and we picked somebody that's outstanding. She has been an absolute star, and I'm extremely proud of it. But again, plenty of time. I mean, there's plenty of time. We're going to do it before the election, but we also have much time after the election, but there's no reason to wait because it's almost unanimous, it seems to me, certainly within the Republican Party and, frankly, most of the Democrats within closed rooms. I guarantee you that.
He's not addressing the question. He just said, look at the Democrats. Like, what?
This is an outstanding person, and I'm using my fourth term. And you know, if you look at it, and if you put the shoe on the other foot, if they had this, they would do it 100%. So there's been 29 times when this has happened. All 29 times, a president has done exactly what I've done.
Can I just, to the voters' point, I'll just say that in 2016 you were on another show, actually another morning show, and you were asked whether President Obama should nominate a Supreme Court Justice Merrick Garland. And you said, I think the Senate should wait until the next president and let the president pick. Now, that was 8 months before the election. This is 3 weeks before the election.
I have a lot of respect, by the way.
So you have changed your position on this.
I have a lot of respect for Judge Garland, I want to tell you that. But I'll tell you, the whole ball game changed when I saw the way they treated Justice Kavanaugh. I have never seen any human being, and I'm not just talking about Supreme Court, I have never seen a human being treated so badly with...
He's a rapist. What?
False accusations and everything else. I have never seen anything like it. And you know what? The truth is, Savannah, like it or not, the ball game changed a lot. There has never been anybody treated so badly.
I thought it was you. And then he's going to go, well, except me, of course.
As now Justice Kavanaugh.
You've mentioned that you would like to see Amy Coney Barrett confirmed to the Supreme Court in case any challenges come up in connection with the election.
Yeah.
Do you expect her to rule for you?
I think she'll have to make that decision. I don't think she has any conflict at all. You know, a Supreme Court judge does not have, I mean, they can make their own decision. And they actually have additional power to make that decision. It would be totally up to her. I would think that she would be able to rule either for me or against me. I don't see any conflict whatsoever. We have an election coming up. I think it's the most important election in the history of our country. If for any chance, and it probably won't, and I hope it doesn't ever get to the Supreme Court, but if it did, I would think that she would rule one way or the other. I would think so.
But for you, you think she would rule for you?
I have no idea.
I mean, of course she'll rule one way or the other, but...
I stump you,
believe it or not, I never asked her about it. I never talked about it. I didn't talk about any of the obvious things that you could talk about. And I think a lot of people in my position might. But in speaking to a lot of very brilliant people and people that do this for a living, they say it's better not to talk. So I talked to her about
Jesus Christ.
life. I talked to her about the fact, would you like to do this? Are you willing to do this? Because it's a tremendous burden. The answer was yes. She's unbelievably well qualified, but I never spoke to her about these various questions.
Let's get our next voter. She's leaning to you, Mr. President. She voted for you in 2016. She is a registered Republican. Her name is Mariah Green. Mariah, what's your question?
Thank you
Boo, Mariah, you suck.
very much.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm honored to be with you here tonight, sir, so thank you. I'm a pro-life millennial.
Puke. Puke. Pukey. Grody, grody, grody. Hold on, I have a tweet for you guys. Pro-life. This is a fake fetus, for the record. This is a fake. They're like, it's basically like creepy crawlers, and they made like a little hand, and they show you. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, chat. Follow me on Twitter. It's a good time. You deserve it. You deserve it. At your boy, Papa Bird Jake. Show fetus.
And my question for you today is, if Roe v. Wade is ultimately overturned in the future,
It shouldn't be, bitch.
what protections would be put in place or kept for where the mother's life is in jeopardy in relation to high-risk pregnancies?
Well, what?
Again, I'm not ruling on this, and Roe v. Wade is something that a lot of people would say, obviously, you're going to speak to somebody. I also, two other great justices, Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh, I never spoke to them about Roe v. Wade. I never spoke to them about election laws. I never spoke to them about anything. And I've done the right thing from a moral standpoint. I don't even know from a legal standpoint, but it was the right thing. I think, depending on what happens with Roe v. Wade, I think that perhaps it could get sent down to the states, and the states would decide. I also think perhaps nothing will happen. I have not talked to her about it. I think it would be inappropriate to talk to her about it. And some people would say you can talk to her about it. I just think it would be inappropriate.
But what is your preference? Because it agreed that's not something you should talk to the judge about. But would you like to see Roe versus Wade overturned?
I would like to see a brilliant jurist, a brilliant person who has done this in great depth and has actually skirted this issue for a long time, make a decision. And that's why I chose her. I think that she's going to make a great decision. I did not tell her what decision to make, and I think it would be inappropriate to say right now, because I don't want to do anything to influence her. I want her to get approved, and then I want her to go by the law, and I know she's going to make a great decision for our country.
But you running as a pro-life Republican, most pro-life Republicans would like to see Roe v. Wade overturned and abortion banned.
Many of them would.
What do you
Perhaps
think?
most of them would. I am telling you, I don't want to do anything to influence anything
Jesus
right now.
Christ.
I don't want to go out tomorrow and say, oh, he's trying to give her a signal, because I didn't speak to her about it. I've done the right thing in so doing. How she's going to rule, you're going to find out perhaps, or you might not find out. I mean, it may never get there. It may never get there. We'll see what happens.
All right. We have another question. This is Cindy Velez. She is undecided. She says she's leaning to Biden, and she did vote for Clinton in 2016. She's registered as a Democrat. Hi, Cindy. What's your question?
Good evening, Savannah.
Cindy,
Good
thank
evening,
you.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
As the mother of a young male of color, I have raised him to respect authority, not only because it's the right thing to do, but also out of fear that he may face profiling or be considered a criminal. As an educator, I've also had similar conversations with my high school students. Mr. President, what will you and your administration do to better prepare our law enforcement officers to work in collaboration with the communities that they serve, and also to protect the lives of innocent Black and Latinos from police brutality and injustice?
Right. I fully understand the question, and I saw everything that you saw over the summer, and it was a terrible thing to watch. We were very strongly, we have a senator named Tim Scott from South Carolina. He came up with a bill that should have been approved. It was great. It was a bill that was strong in terms of law enforcement and strong in terms of enforcing the proper thing and doing the proper.
Triple downing on hyper enforcement with cops that fucking hurt people is not the bill that you want to do in response to police brutality, you fucking idiot.
Proper thing by law enforcement, and the Democrats just wouldn't go for it. They wouldn't go for it at all, and I don't know why, because it was a really great bill. But I do have to say this.
Antifa.
And some people don't like it when I say it, but a lot of people agree. I have done more for the African-American community than any president, with the
even worse,
exception of Abraham Lincoln. Criminal justice.
Wow. Okay. So, the Civil Rights Act is a thing. The Civil Rights Act exists. Donald Trump did not sign the Civil Rights Act. He has just said, for the billionth time, that he has done so much for the Black community that it's just under emancipation of slaves, but it's just over the Civil Rights Act. Wow. Wowzers. Wow.
Justice reform, prison reform, historically black college.
Prison reform, fantastic. Prison reform. The Biden-Harris ticket has pledged to remove private prisons, criminalize marijuana, and expunge the records of nonviolent drug offenders in the system, making them no longer felons. I'm just tossing that out there. Oh,
Colleges and universities, I got them
and they want to end cash bail.
Funded. They were on a year-to-year basis. They could have been put out of business as soon as our country had a little bad year. They would have said, "I'm sorry, we're not going to fund you." I got them 10-year funding and financing, and more than they even asked for. I became very friendly with a lot of the heads, but we've done more, and of course, opportunity zones. But criminal justice reform, everybody said it could not be done. President Obama
Lockwood,
and
thanks for
Biden
following.
never even tried to do it. They never even tried. But I say that, and I say it often, I'll say it loud, and I'm very proud of it. And I have a great relationship because of what I've done with the African-American community. I'm very proud of it.
Let's go to our
Thank
next
you.
question. We have Paulette Dale. She leans slightly to Biden. She voted for Clinton in 2016. She's registered as a Republican. Paulette, what's your question?
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
I still think we should vote for him, but what's your over-under on Biden sticking to a single policy? I think it's pretty high. Pretty high to him sticking to most policies. I mean, definitely healthcare, hot button issue. You're gonna see the weed thing and the drug stuff is absolutely that's a linchpin of lefty politics right now. Alex, thanks so much for following. You're going to see a like the healthcare stuff, the student debt stuff is huge. I mean, I'm trying to think of a major thing I don't think he's going to have to stick to. But I mean, maybe no, infrastructure is still out there. I mean, the broad spectrum infrastructure thing is huge because it's he's a capitalist, right? So he's going to want those like Green New Deal type jobs things. We're working in alternative fuels and stuff. He's going to want those jobs programs out there because it looks really good on the employment thing. And those aren't typically jobs that are underemployed either, which is good. Those are skilled worker jobs. So you're going to have a lot of people that are in high school right now that are going to be highly incentivized by people in colleges to be learning like engineering and stuff and sciences that can be used on a works program that happens within the next 2 to 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think all of that is extremely doable. I mean, it seems it's not super far to the left of what he actually wants or what the Dems have actually been trying to do. Think the Dems will pass student debt? Yes. Yes, I do. Well, here's the thing, because you can lobby as much as you want, but if you eliminate student debt, the only people that like the student debt lobby isn't like huge, right? Like they're not paying for elections and shit like that. They could, but they haven't been because it's not been a thing. But Bernie brought up student debt stuff, and it got really popular, obviously, because a lot of people have tons of student debt. What student debt does, like, look at this. If I type in student debt total USA, and we bring it over here, and I show you this number, $1.6 trillion. Okay, $1.6 trillion. Do you know what that effectively is for the United States people? Do you know what that effectively is? By doing nothing that affects taxes. It doesn't affect unemployment. It doesn't affect anything. It is a $1.6 trillion. $1.6 trillion stimulus to American consumers. That's what that is. Imagine how much money you just freed in the American capitalist ecosystem Relieving families of literally just that is going to release people out of poverty. That's huge. If Joe Biden just forgave student loan debt, right? If they're like, fuck those are predatory loans. We're anyone like we'll relieve up to $400,000 of student loan debt or something. I don't know. All of it. Every single human being in America either has it or knows somebody that has it. How is that person not then going to go like, wow, maybe I should vote for Joe Biden again? I'm just tossing this out there. That is a huge linchpin. And it doesn't affect taxes. It just fucks some companies that have been preying on students forever. It doesn't fuck the universities necessarily. They've already got their money. You know what I mean? That's a huge 1.6 trillion straight into everyone's pocket. And that's every American. That's just human beings that exist. That's babies. Big hand boning. It's closer to $8,000 straight into everyone's pocket. Yeah. Student loans are fucked. Even just up to $10K means $30,000 in my household loan. Exactly.
I have to say, you have a great
Yeah, paying student loans doesn't even help your credit score. True.
smile.
She just wants to fuck Donald Trump.
Thank you. So, he does. You're so handsome when you smile. Okay.
Look, I didn't know I was going to make everybody in chat asexual just now. I didn't realize that was going to happen. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I should have screened this video. Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. This is a shit show. Here's 1,000 poos for you woos. Thanks, buddy. And I just got out of my denial about being bi. Back to the closet I go. True.
As the daughter of immigrants to the United States who fled Eastern Europe due to religious persecution,
right.
The United States immigration policies are very personal for me.
Right.
Surveys show that most Americans and the majority of Republicans support the Dreamers program. So my question for you, Mr. President, is if you are elected to a second term, do you expect to pursue your previous efforts to cut the DACA program?
Yeah.
Why?
Oof.
Why or why not?
And the DACA is somewhat different than Dreamers. You understand that, and you understand it better than anybody probably in this room. Where do you come from, by the way, originally? Where?
My grandparents were from Russia and Poland.
That's very good. Okay.
Oof, that's very good. I have lots of friends there.
So we are going to take care of DACA. We're going to take care of Dreamer. It's working right now. We're negotiating different aspects of immigration and immigration law. We've built now over 400 miles of border wall, southern border. Mexico's working very closely with us. We have the strongest border we've ever had. We want people to come into our country. They have to come in legally. But we are working very hard on the DACA program, and you will be, I think, very happy over the course of the next year.
Thank you.
Because I feel the same way as you do about it.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
President.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, in point of fact, the DACA program, there are, under your administration, no new applicants are allowed. And in fact, the DACA recipients now have to renew every year as opposed to every 2 years. So in fact, the DACA program has been curtailed by your administration.
Well, what happened is because of the pandemic, much changed on the immigration front.
4 years? Okay.
Mexico is heavily infected, as you know, and we've made it very, very difficult to come in because of the pandemic and other reasons, and crime.
and crime.
But we have a very strong border right now, and we have to keep it that way. But we want people to come into our country, but they have to come in through a merit system, and they have to come in legally. And people are very, very happy with it. You haven't heard any complaints about that. But what happened is...
Am I nuts? Are the infection rates in Mexico lower? What? Mexico COVID rates versus U.S. Is that a thing? Am I nuts? Mexico versus the United States. Active, recovered, deaths. What's per capita though? What's the per capita? Population. Okay, here we go. Confirmed cases 7.4 mil. Wowzers. Wait, what? Oh, Mexico versus. I see. Dun 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 bom 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 bom. Yeah, we have the most confirmed cases on the planet. What? By a bit. That's amazing. That is amazing. India? Nah, this has got to be under reporting, right? This has got to be. Does India underreport, we think? No way. They have billions of people. 1.3 billion. What? We have 340 million. What? I mean, okay. I mean, we're probably number 3 behind them in China, but like, whatever. Okay, so what's the population of Mexico? Mexico population 126 million. Okay. They're doing a lot better than us. They have a tenth of the cases, but a third of the population. They're doing much better. Okay, that's all we needed to know.
Because of the pandemic, we have to be extra cautious.
You have been promising this immigration bill since, well, at least July, when you told my colleague on Telemundo it was coming, but nothing's come yet.
True. Very happy. The fact is,
number 1, baby. Woo. USA.
Thanks, Doc. Appreciate you.
Catch and release, which is a disaster. You know,
why is he so sweaty around the mouth?
They could be a rapist, and we're supposed to release them into our country. These are the laws that I inherited. We ended that program. Now, I think you're going to see something very, very good. The whole immigration, if you look at what's going on, people used to pour into our country, and especially during the pandemic. I think even you, Savannah, will be very impressed.
Sir, we have about 30 seconds left. I think about people sitting out there tonight. There are some who love you. Some of them are sitting right around here, and some who will never vote for you. But there are people in the middle. There are people who aren't sure.
That's right.
There are people who want to know why they should give you a second chance and how you might improve in a second term. 30 seconds. What would you say to them?
Because I've done a great job.
I've done a great job. That's a terrible answer to the question.
Longest economy in the world. We closed it up. We are coming around the corner. The vaccines are coming out soon, and our economy is strong. We are at a level with jobs like we've never been before. We've
Doc,
rebuilt
thank
our
you
military.
so much.
We've rebuilt our borders. We had no borders. We had no nothing. We've rebuilt so much. We've given you the greatest tax cut in the history of our country, greatest regulation cut, equally as important. And we created new levels of jobs that nobody thought was possible. And next year is going to be better than ever before.
How are you going to... His answer to how he was going to do a better job the second time around was, I already did a good job. This is a fucking clown show.
I got to leave it there. I got a wrap from the control room. Mr. President, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to the voters' questions. That concludes our town hall. We do want to thank the president again, as well as our audience in hot Miami and all of you watching at home. And a reminder, Donald Trump and Joe Biden are scheduled to meet in person a week from tonight in Nashville, a second and final presidential debate moderated by our own Kristen Welker.
Is Kristen Welker gonna do a good job? Boy, I fucking hope so. How would you improve in the second term? I won't. I've already done a good job. So, I think what we should take away from all of this is number one thing we should take away from this. Great rants tonight, Jake. Great rants tonight, Jake. Good job. Number two, okay? Fantastic support tonight, chat. Very fantastic support, okay? Good job. You've done a great job. You're humbling me. I appreciate all the support. Number three thing, vote for fucking Joe Biden here. Come on. I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Okay? The fight doesn't end on Inauguration Day for Joe Biden, okay? I give chat, I give you guys a week off. The fight continues for me. Okay? You guys get the week off. Get yourself some ice cream Sammies. Get yourself some beverages, maybe some Dr. Pepper or something. Enjoy that. Get some pizza rolls in the oven. Cook them up. Maybe smoke a joint. Okay? All right? You get 7 days off. After that, though, we're back at it. Me, I'll be preparing. All right? With the highest perfection rates, but I did a good job already. True. Takeaway right here, rap style. Oh, no. We'll look at that in a second. We can't be fighting fascists anymore. We have to move on from this chapter of American history. We have to move on. Okay? And we have to look, voting for Joe Biden doesn't mean endorsing Joe Biden 100%. Okay? It's never meant that. It never will mean that. Voting for anybody doesn't mean 100% endorsement. What it does mean is that you care enough to vote against whoever the other person is. But always, every time you voted for somebody, it's always been, okay, here's your chance, but I'm going to put your feet to the fire and make sure you hold up your end of this shit or you're fucking gone. Every time you vote for somebody, never look at it as like well, now they win. Now that's the end of the fight. No. If you vote for somebody and they do a bad job, you vote for somebody else next time. That's how it keeps going, okay? Donald Trump has done a bad job. Will you be here on election night? 100% chance I'm here on election night. Are you kidding me? 100% chance I'm here on election night. I hope it goes our way because I want to fight Joe Biden. I'm tired of fighting this bullshit, okay? Tired of fighting it. We're still going to have fast people out there. John Doyle's still going to be mad, okay? Okay? We're going to have idiots out there still. Sargon's still going to be molding. We got plenty of those, okay? I still got Sargon right here. Look. I still got that fucker right here, body double and all. I got 100% body double Sargon. I didn't invest in this because I thought Sargon was gonna end here. Okay, this is actually a trash can. I don't know if you can see that. It's not actually Sargon, but close enough. Look, fight continues. Okay, the fight continues. So let's make sure that works. Let's finish tonight strong. Okay.